Okay. Here is my 11 to face Austria. Uh, I'm fed up with looking on the internet, waiting for someone to come up. Yeah, come in. Come up. Huh? I'm just about to do a recording. Fed up for waiting for a 11 to come up on the internet for me to have a look at, and I was thinking for some reason I listened or heard that 11th was the date of a team to be announced. I haven't seen it, and also I've seen ones put forward by Welsh FA, and I just thought it just looked rubbish. So this is my attempt at it, and I've got no script, and I wanted to see how I would do with one. I've always had a channel called Jac Y Jwmper as a Swansea supporter to see if I could make my own channel, but never got around to it. Anyway, I'm fed up of waiting to see what kind of team we would put forward, and so I've come up with this one. I managed to find, I like a few guys on YouTube who have got their own channels and make it. There was a nice one that I'd seen recently by this guy who did one on Wales, HR Vizek, on Wales in the World Cup playoffs. I liked his system, but I realised he was using the FIFA formation or dream team, but I don't have that. So I managed to find this really nice website called Foothead that I can make it. Now, what I've done here, I've this is a type of formation we tend to do, but I know we're missing players, so I'm going to make my own formation. We don't have Moore for this one because he's injured, with a few other injuries, obviously. So I'm going to go with a formation which some of you guys might have your own comments on. 4-5-1. And I've seen something similar to it that we tend to have our wing backs running up and in the form of Roberts and Nico Williams. In the past, we've had all kinds of players. Gunter running up on the left-hand side. Obviously, that's not happening. But I wonder if maybe we can still. I've seen some formations online where we have still used Nico Williams on the left. It's usually, if I'm right, between him and Roberts. But I think it would be a bit weird not having both of them in the side. Anyway, as you might have heard, it's my lunch, so I'm gonna get started with the back, and I prefer. And I've seen Ward make so many mistakes recently, and obviously his fantastic save against France. But I still think Hennessy beats Ward. Oops, get my spelling right. So yeah, I've got Hennessy in goals. And I'm going for Robert on the right because he's great for Burnley at the moment. So I'm going to put Roberts on the right. And then obviously I mentioned Nico Williams on the left. On the left. Some interesting stats there. I'd love to speak about it a bit more, but that's not happening. It'd be great to get some of your comments and a bit of encouragement from you guys if I'm doing something that you like or don't like. I don't mind you giving me some constructive criticism. Right, I'm excited about this. I'm so glad I'm doing it, and I'm finding out another way around it. having to wait online for someone to come up with their own one. I thought, sod it, let's do it myself. Um, Centre back. Now this is an interesting one. I've always been an advocate for um, the what's his name? The player who has done so much for us at the back there, and he plays for Stoke. I come, uh, the name has avoided me. Anyway, I still think he's quite good, and uh, possibly we could still be putting. I mean, I've seen also um, our player that plays for Middlesbrough now is still playing at a pretty decent level of football. Again, I think I had a bad sleep night. My mind's gone. But obviously, Rodon is, I mean, at his early age, still fantastic. Uh, and I think he should be there, even though he's sitting on the bench for Tottenham. Um, I think his camaraderie or his friendship with Ben Davis is, another thing that could help Wales. So those for me are the pretty obvious ones. Is that right position in the centre back position is the one that's really. I mean, lots of people are saying Ampadu, but I don't think Ampadu is a defender myself. Anyway, I'm going to put Rodon in there and Ben Davis next to him. So, yeah, is it Mepham or is it Lawrence? That's an interesting thing. I think Lawrence myself picks it. Um, Life of me, I can't remember that Stoke player's name. Uh, um, Great next to Williams during the Euros, but hasn't been playing that much. He's been injured recently. I think Lawrence picks it in front of. Um, I think Lawrence picks in front of Meppen myself. Meppen, another player prone to mistakes. So I am going to put Lawrence. I don't know if I'm going to get him up here. Oh dear. My spelling is going to be really bad, isn't it? Right, I need some help here. I think, is it called St. Pauli? Okay, James Lawrence. Got there in the end. What was I spelling with W? Okay, so that's my back five, which we're going back to the old days of having a back five, but that seems to be the way that we're having wing backs, aren't we? Anyway, let's move forward. Now, can't leave out Ampadu, really, isn't he, at the top of his game at the moment. So, yes, I think Ampadu in front of the defence for me. He's very good at clearing up messes. And he's got that experience of doing defending. So, it's got to be Ampadu, isn't it? Oh, what have I done wrong there? There you go, Ampadu. Now, obviously, we've got lots of interesting ideas on who to have up front, and um, Cardiff City youngsters coming through, Colwell and Isaac Davis and players like that. What about our other player who's doing really well on the continent in Belgium at the moment? Name has just avoided me at the moment. Um, Let me just check his name. Okay, I'm not remembering his name at the moment. That's not a good start. Um, I think obviously Ramsey needs to be here. We can't leave Ramsey out. Why have we got two Ramseys? um, Obviously you wouldn't look at Bale as a striker. I'm not fond of him being so close to the um, byline or and running at the side. He used to have that energy. He doesn't. I don't. And he tends to. I don't know if he's seen him hugging the line too often, but that's at the moment. This formation, it's got to be up there, isn't it, Bale? Again, we've got two Bales. Why have we got two Bales? That's interesting. Okay. Right. So who was on the left? Oh, James, isn't it, or Harry Wilson, or who else do we have for that position? Um, Gosh, Wood Brooks would have been there, obviously. Uh, I hope he recovers soon. We're missing him. But I'm thinking. Obviously, we've got a bit of um, uh, a combination of youth and old heads there to stable the midfield area. If I come back, we've still got a good selection of youngsters and old heads. But so I mean, why miss out on Harry Wilson, who's been fantastic recently? You've got that combination between him and um, Nico Williams as well. So that's an interesting thing. Does any other players come to mind at the moment? Uh, I'd have to think of the striker. Um, Isaac Davis is fantastic for Cardiff at the moment. Um, but I think Harry Wilson has to come in there, hasn't he? So let's put in Harry Wilson. Here we go. Harry Wilson. Now it just leaves that position of maybe James. James has been up there um, for Leeds, not having a great season, possibly better than how he was doing at Manchester United, but you can't just leave James out and having that extra bit of pace up there. My thoughts are the player that's avoiding me at the moment, playing in Belgium, is definitely a player to be looking at. And you've got such an interesting bench, haven't you, with Isaac Davis and Colwill coming through. But it has to be James up front, hasn't it? Fantastic header that he did for Wales. I can't remember which game it was, but having James there, I think this is the team that I would go with. Um, I can't remember his first name. I'm having a bad day. Um, Daniel James. How do you spell Daniel? Okay, Google help.
Can we go in? We then go in one hour.
How am I doing spelling wise? Daniel James. There we go. There's my team. Daniel James up front, Harry Wilson on the left, Bale. I think that's a great side. I wouldn't have Ampadu at the back. Hopefully Ramsey's fit. Um, Both Williams, Nico Williams and Roberts in the side doing really well. I would pick Lawrence in front of Mepham. Rodon, for such a young, youthful player, I think he's got a great head. I think Conte has got it wrong. I think he's a great. I mean, why isn't he playing there with Davis? This makes loads of sense. And personally, Hennessy, fantastic. How are we not playing Hennessy at the back? Looking forward to hearing all your thoughts on my team. I'm sure all of you are as exasperated as I was, waiting for someone to come up with their thoughts on this team. And I'm not waiting for the FA to come up with their own dream team, to be honest. I've seen such rubbish put out on YouTube. Anyway, be glad to hear your thoughts. Maybe if you'd like me to carry on doing things like this, it would be great. I am a Swansea fan, so if you'd like me to do things like this about Swansea, that would be really cool. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to your comments.